Hello everyone, I'm doing a Smarkoutmoment WWE Royal Rumble 2015 match review audio.
Welcome back, everybody. You probably heard the beginning of that talking about Krispy
About
Kreme
40
donuts. They have
minutes.
them in Greenfield, apparently.
No, they're not that good though. They have them at gas stations. At least when my family owned Gas America, those were the donuts they usually carried if they didn't have a sweet shop nearby.
Does Andy's Gas have them? Apparently not.
No.
In half a mile, keep left at the fork to continue on I-74. Follow signs for Mount Airy, Winston, Salem.
Every elimination, every entrance, because fuck that. You can read that on smarkoutmoment.com. Callum Bruce ended up doing the review and the live coverage and everything like that. Shout out to him for doing a great job and covering my ass while I was there.
Keep left at the fork to continue on I-74.
I had to try to get you gay chants going, you know.
That's a you gay chance.
You didn't accomplish that.
Continue for 43 miles.
No, we also couldn't get people to cheer for Roman Reigns either, so. You know, Peyton and I and one person in front of us were really trying to get the Roman Reigns things going, but people weren't having it. This was, you know, before he even came out, before Bryan was eliminated, a lot of that different stuff, but let's break down a couple things right here. We start off with The Miz and R-Truth, which we all kind of agreed was a shitty way to start. There was like no energy for that whatsoever. And they didn't have to start out with those guys either. Like, they could have gone with different people. I really don't know why The Miz was there. Because The Miz could have been showing up later on where, like, Fandango did. And it would have been the same. Like, Miz didn't have an actual part for the beginning of this that needed to be The Miz. So, and R-Truth, fuck R-Truth. He pulled out, you know, there it is, and one of the things that got the people in front of me to laugh was I decided to yell out, "Mabel did it better, you fucker." And another person turned out and they're like, "There's kids around." I don't fucking care.
Philly motherfucker.
Clearly he got
thankfully,
censored big time over the last 7 years.
Things up. Bubba Ray Dudley, which I was not a big fan of the Dudley boys when I was watching wrestling, but Bully Ray was one of the best things in TNA. And seeing him in there was awesome.
Really weakened.
Another comment.
Believes everything you hear on the internet,
people were making
on the news.
Was, we never thought that we would be
Sad,
cheering
really, because I don't have a problem with the
Devon to come out. But
I actually
that would
like
have
a lot
really
of his
cool
stuff.
to see, you know,
Consistent.
Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, and the Dudley boys would have been an awesome kind of thing.
Buys into
for
too
even a
many
minute,
narratives,
you know,
though, and I've tried to say stuff.
that leads into, though, we've
Dead
got
subject, really.
Curtis Axel gets jumped by Eric Rowan. Poor Curtis Axel. That was probably Justin Gabriel's spot. That might have been why he decided to go PJ Black mode and quit. Big surprise with the Boogeyman. I don't think anybody ever would have expected the Boogeyman. Because there's no Philadelphia ties to him. There's no, like, hints that he was coming in anytime soon. Nothing. So that was a shock. And Boogeyman was kind of cool to see.
I think Boogeyman's just becoming one of those guys that just pops up once in a while, kind of like how Hacksaw was for a long time. We're getting to the next generation of those guys, and it's going to be like Shawn Michaels and Boogeyman and, I don't know, Steve Blackman.
You really want Blackman to come back, don't you?
Hell yeah, Steve Blackman was awesome.
I'm still pissed off that he's not done that fucking show where he was meant to be a bounty hunter.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he needs to fucking do that.
Yeah, he does.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
All the shit.
All shit show.
Tony, what do you think about Steve Blackman?
Like, they actually had energy back
I
here.
wouldn't watch
Like,
it.
they,
I like
now
Steve
it's like,
We do
and
Superstars
he's
for
like,
Steve Blackman.
oh my gosh, I don't like this booking tonight.
Maybe I haven't quite figured out what we're doing next
That's
week.
what I'm used to hearing.
If you want to see
We're doing
Superstars
next
Steve
week.
Blackman.
And it's because of all the stuff going on
So
and the
Carl,
internet.
shows up. He was
You know,
not
I
announced
believe
for
everything I hear, and
the
I
Royal Rumble ahead of
know.
time. So
It's like,
kind of
come
a
on,
surprise,
guys.
kind of not.
You
Zack
ruin it for
Ryder
yourself.
then shows
I don't
up
know what to tell you.
one of the returns.
I ruined it for myself
Chris
too.
Dees
But
was,
come on.
you know, really happy about that. Really sad to see him go immediately afterward. Then we finally get Daniel Bryan, who doesn't last all that long, and that's obviously, of course, a source of all this controversy and everything like that. You know, then we sort of hit this rough patch where not much happened, and even when Rusev came out, Rusev didn't get much of like a spotlight. And this was really focused on Bray Wyatt. And we had one cool little spot here with Kofi Kingston and the Rosebuds. That was his standard I elude elimination and then 45 seconds later get eliminated. They do that every time. And rewatching these Royal Rumbles, which I still didn't rewatch 1989 or no 1990, but I watched all the other ones over this past month, and that's a huge trend that I have been overlooking, where somebody does something that's like celebratory or whatever, and then gets thrown out immediately afterward. I think it happened 2 or 3 times with Booker T doing the spinneroonie and then immediately getting thrown over. It's happened with every time with Kofi Kingston. He doesn't last more than when the next person comes out, anytime, from when he, saves himself. But then we had Roman Reigns come out. We had another
purpose,
little
doesn't it?
downturn where
More or less.
nobody gave a shit about Big E, and Damien missed out. Only lasted a minute maximum, I guess. And they missed another
like 30 seconds.
Yeah, they missed another opportunity here with the whole elimination from the Miz, and Miz now eliminates himself kind of thing. Everybody expected that to be like a guarantee. Maybe that's why they didn't do it, but that would have been fun. And I don't know why they decided to throw the Miz at the beginning of it. Then we start getting the big guns. We've got Ryback and Kane and
Big Show.
Dean Ambrose.
I'm talking about guns.
Yeah, Big Show's gun. And then we have a botch. Titus O'Neil goes for the record and doesn't jump high enough. And it just looked awful. Immediately afterward, the fans start chanting, "You fucked up," which they did. I don't get this, and maybe you guys can clarify, but why Titus O'Neil for this spot? We just had the record a few years ago in 2009, and they want to repeat it or surpass it again? And with Titus O'Neil? Like, is he really the standard guy you want to be the comedic jobber that should usurp this position from Santino? Santino makes sense.
To be fair, before him, Santino was the warlord who definitely wouldn't have fit that at all.
Right, but like, why give this to Titus? Like, that seems so odd.
I don't know, it could be because it's to keep it fresh in the minds, because now Santino's not really around that much. I don't know. Titus has been doing it. His NXT stuff has mainly been him being cocky and stuff like that, so maybe. Because he could definitely. I knew something was happening when he was on his way to the ring. Because to me, the body language he was giving off, like him slapping the stairs, it just seemed like he was definitely going to get eliminated soon after he got in.
He came in like he meant
right afterwards. Yeah, and
I know,
usually
like,
when you do that.
I can tell either he was coming in for a random big push out of nowhere, or he was going to be like a joke elimination really fast. It was one of those two things.
It was more towards the joke of the elimination.
They have to be careful. Like, I'm fine if they want to update it, but the thing is, this is one of those records you just can't keep breaking over and over. You're very limited on how many times you can break this record, because how much quicker can you eliminate people?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if Titus is the guy I would have went and did that with. Adam Rose, maybe, but not Titus.
Yeah, and you can do quick eliminations and it gets the same kind of response without having to try to break the record. Like, if Titus would have went over the first time like he should have, and it would have been a 3-second elimination, everybody still would have kind of popped for it. You didn't need to have a 1-second elimination. And, like you said, I mean, you can't have somebody come into the ring and only take 0.3 seconds. It's like impossible. So do you want Titus O'Neil to be the one that actually ends up breaking that record? Like, why not keep this going for a couple years and see if maybe there's somebody in the future that can surpass it? But Titus is not somebody who should have this kind of thing. So I thought that was a mistake. Partially, some people were thinking maybe he didn't jump like that on purpose. And I was like, oh, come on. He's not like, I'll sabotage this and risk, losing my job because I don't want to be the one who gets eliminated the fastest. That's not the truth. Come on. Then we had Vegas, Barrett, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, and Big Show. Then Dolph Ziggler is the number 30. I don't think anybody would have imagined Dolph Ziggler being the last person in here. I mean, we all pretty much had Ziggler showing up pretty damn early. 3 of us had him either as number 1 or number 2. And he becomes number 30. So, that was kind of odd. But no surprises from Randy Orton, which we all thought was going to end up happening. We all had him either at number 30 or number 29. No surprises from Chris Jericho, which a lot of people had. A lot of different things that we expected. I mean, we didn't do...
The story just came out that Jericho turned him down, so I guess they tried.
Yeah. We did get Diamond Dallas Page, though. That was cool. Seeing him pop up for a little bit. And, of course, let's talk about the win itself. I can get why people are annoyed with how this was booked, because this wasn't the best Royal Rumble of all time.
Oh, great. My wireless bill just went up.
But U.S. Cellular, they aren't raising prices on any plans, which is refreshing.
Oh, take advantage of people.
But
suffering.
really, is Roman Reigns winning the worst fucking option ever and everything that people are talking about?
No, it wasn't.
By far he isn't.
It was
There's
the right
definitely
move.
someone else worse out there.
7 years later, it was still the right move.
Hell, just look at, like, the Del Rios and stuff.
We both
Yeah.
went to Del Rio.
Honestly, last year was a blatant example of them ignoring the fans. This year, they gave the win to somebody that people liked last year.
You know what, actually, when it comes to last year's Rumble, I'm not going to fault him for having Batista win the match, because I didn't think that was the issue. I think the issue was that Bryan wasn't in the match. So, even with Batista winning, I think they thought that he was going to get over well if he won. But no, the reason why anyone shit on him was just because Bryan wasn't in the match. So really, if you think about it, Bryan is the root of all evil.
Well, see,
That's a good point.
something that when we were talking about this afterward that Peyton had brought up, I'm not so quoting on him on this. This is an example, I think, I agree with him on this, that WWE knows what we want better than what we think we want.
My WWE years is just Vince McMahon.
Well, I mean, clearly other people
Powers that be.
fine with it, yeah. But they spent all this time building up this idea that Roman Reigns was going to win it, so you shouldn't be that surprised. And if you weren't a fan of Roman Reigns from beforehand, then you have every right to complain.
Sean,
But if you were somebody who liked Roman Reigns up until you thought that he was going to win, and then suddenly it was fuck this guy, get off your high horse and stop being a complainer. You can't just dislike people because they're winning. You have
Hey,
to
push
dislike...
young talent. Hey, stop pushing that young talent.
Yeah, people did this for Dolph Ziggler for a little bit there when he was in the world title picture. Then he suddenly was not as cool and he's too small and whatever. And people
just like to complain.
Yeah, people liked John Cena back in the day, and now they don't, obviously. And people liked Roman Reigns up until he got injured, essentially.
You know that meme of Homer Simpson where he like slowly backs into the bushes?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a really funny one where it was like first he's standing out wearing a Daniel Bryan shirt, and it was right after WrestleMania 30, and people were like starting to turn on Daniel Bryan, and they made a meme of Homer wearing a Daniel Bryan shirt, slowly back out into the bushes, and then he pops back out wearing a Cesaro shirt.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's the IWC.
That happens all the time, so I'm sick of it. Like, there's no more just humoring the people that follow that kind of mentality. You might have wanted somebody else to win, and you might be annoyed that they didn't. Like, I would have been cool with Daniel Bryan winning, Dane Ambrose winning, or Dolph Ziggler winning.
Dane Ambrose?
Dane.
Did I say Dane? I had a little twang on it. Dane Ambrose. I'd be cool with Dane Ambrose winning here.
You know what? When it comes to the idea of Roman Reigns winning the match, he was gonna win regardless. And no matter how many times you replay that match in different scenarios, every outcome, no matter what, if every outcome you come up with Roman Reigns winning, he's still gonna get booed by someone. There's still gonna be a high number of people with that crowd booing him winning. So no matter what, he was still gonna get booed. I don't think it would have been as bad though if Bryan was in the match longer.
Right.
What about if the way Bryan lost was he went to do that flying knee, Roman Reigns just dunked and he flew out the ring?
That would have been awesome. That's such a big fuck you to Daniel, but that would have been kind of funny. a watch.
See, some people said, though, and I disagree with him on this, that it should have been Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns in the finals. That would have been just the same. Because people would have expected
He should have been.
Bryan to win.
He should have been one of the last ones, though.
Yeah, it should have. I think Final Four, realistically, actually, it shouldn't have even necessarily been Final Four. It should have been Final Six. It should have been either Dolph Ziggler or Dean Ambrose with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. And then you could have Bray Wyatt, Rusev, and either Big Show or Kane. Probably Big Show would make more sense. And you could have, the three. Fuck, even if you wanted to throw in them and have the final 8 be the 4 that I mentioned for the heels and the 4 that I mentioned for the baby faces. Even if you would have done that, I think that would have gotten over a lot more. Because then you could have had, somebody like a Bray Wyatt throw out Daniel Bryan at the end, and Roman Reigns saved the day.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been too bad if they actually had someone actually screw Daniel Bryan, even if that meant Triple H pulling him out of the ring. Because at least they could direct their hate to an individual, not at the entire event.
Yeah. You know what the thing with Daniel Bryan is, especially now? They do this thing with him. All the Rumbles he's been in, I think the longest he was in the Rumble was in 2011. And even then, he wasn't in that long. I think he was in maybe 20 minutes at the most. So they really don't utilize him well when it comes to the Rumble. Because I remember in 2013, he just, I think he got eliminated by Kane 6 minutes in or something like that. They really do not like using him for the Rumble. But they should use him better, though.
Looking at the Royal Rumble and summing it all up, I just think it's a case of Roman Reigns was going to get booed no matter what. But you could have halted a lot of that hostility towards the entire event if you had just booked Daniel Bryan smarter. You left them to stew in it for 20 minutes.
And the same thing with throwing out Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler, because they got their pops. People were supporting them. And for a little bit there when not with Dean Ambrose, not as much for him, when Dolph Ziggler popped up, for maybe a minute, people were really supporting Dolph Ziggler. And they kind of forgot about Bryan, and then when people started, Kane and Big Show just picked people up and casually dumped them out, then it was just alright, fuck this. But I was still happy Roman Reigns won. I still think that people are way too ridiculous with overreacting on this. And I can only hope that, they spend the next couple of months figuring it out of how to get this to get over with the crowd. But let's talk about some other little points of this Royal Rumble here. Factoring in the predictions contest, let's throw those out there. If you didn't watch last week's episode, we decided that we were going to predict the same things that we usually do, the 1 to 30 entrances, the final 4, who is the winner.
Here's to them, the game changers. Here's to the boundary breakers. Here's to those
who gets the most eliminations, who lasts the longest, the Iron Man, and who has the shortest time. So the final 4 obviously ended up being Rusev, Roman Reigns, Kane, and Big Show. None of us got all 4 of them right. We all got Roman Reigns right. I ended up getting the slight edge by having Rusev in there. All of us had Orton, so we were all immediately off for that. So that was kind of an interesting tidbit. Shortest time went to Titus O'Neil. Should have been shorter, apparently, but, winner is obviously Roman Reigns. If you don't know that, then...
I have a feeling when it comes to Titus O'Neil and just trying to break that record in future attempts, it's going to be extremely hard to break that record, even as it is. Yeah. So they might have a lot of screw-ups if they try to break it in the future.
We had also shortest time, it depends on your definition of it, would be Curtis Axel, because he technically didn't even get in there. So that's something that, it didn't really come into factor for our predictions, because nobody guessed either Titus O'Neil or Curtis Axel, so moot point, doesn't matter, none of us won anything for that. We all had different people. We had 2 people had guessed Bo Dallas, 2 people had guessed Diego, and 1 had guessed Jamie Noble. Every single one of them not in the actual Royal Rumble itself.
The actual one that some of us got right was DDP. out of all things.
Yeah, I mean, we had predictions of the Bunny, and he wasn't in there. We had predictions of even the Usos, because they were, you know, supposed to be potentials for the match, and they were taken out. So we did pretty poorly for guessing the people that were in the match, but longest time ended up going to Bray Wyatt. None of us had guessed that one. And most eliminations, this is the first time it's ever happened. 3 people tied for the most eliminations. Roman Reigns, Rusev, and Bray Wyatt all eliminated 6 different people. So a couple of us got some points for that. I'm going to break them down a little bit now. In the last place for the predictions contest, Sean Walker, 4 points. He got 2 points for most eliminations, 1 point for Roman Reigns being in the final 4, and 1 point for having the margin entry spot for Bray Wyatt. He was 1 off for that. He had guessed number 6, and Bray Wyatt came out number 5. So that's how that kind of works. I'm not going to go through that for everybody. The second to last place was Drew White with 18 participants, and what I'm clarifying that for was Drew and Wago and Peyton all had the same amount of points, and it needed to go to a tiebreaker. To determine that, you had to go with how many people in the Royal Rumble you actually guessed correctly. He got 18. They all had 10 points. Drew got points for the most eliminations, 1 point for the final 4, and 7 entry points, the most entry points out of anybody. That's because Drew got a margin point for R-Truth, but he nailed Roman Reigns and Rusev. Good job there for those 2, Drew.
Hey, what can I say? You know, because, well, no, the thing is, they've been bringing, for the past few years, they've been bringing up the 10, 11 through 20, 19 spots. No, only like 2 people won there in that spot, so I just knew he was going to win from the spots.
Peyton was next up in the hierarchy. He had 5 points for the entries. He nailed Luke Harper and got the entry points for Damien Mizdow and Big Show. He got his final 4 point, his 2 points for the winner, 2 points for the elimination. Wago is next up. He had margin points for Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, nailed Bad News Barrett. Right. 20 participants that he guessed correctly, so only 1 off for each person for the participants. So that almost became like a tiebreaker for the tiebreaker. 2 points for winner, 2 points for eliminations, 1 point for Roman Reigns being in the final 4, and the winner, pointing at myself right now, 12 points in the predictions contest. I had the winner, the eliminations, 2 points for the final 4 because of the Rusev thing, and 6 points for entry. I didn't get a single person directly right, but I got a lot of margin points. Stardust, Goldust, Adam Rose, Damien Mizdow, Kane, and Dean Ambrose. So that's going to come into play in the next part when we talk about the Fantasy League. But before we move on to that, let's round out this Royal Rumble talk. What do you think WWE can do to salvage this? Is there a way to make Roman Reigns get cheered at WrestleMania, or are they doomed?
Not have WrestleMania in Philadelphia.
He's gonna get booed at WrestleMania regardless.
No, he's not.
Yes, no, that crowd. No, the WrestleMania crowds are always smart crowds, and honestly,
Yeah, no, they're not. No, they're
Yes,
not.
they are.
No, they're not. WrestleMania is definitely the casual crowd.
The last time I checked, Cesaro was a heel last year, and he got one of the biggest pops during that match.
He wasn't really a heel.
Yes, he was a heel. He is a heel.
No, he was a tweener at that point. He was already. No, they were already teasing dissension in the Real Americans. He was a tweener.
He is right.
He was not a heel, and he was a tweener till later in the night during the pre-show. They had that he was a heel, and then he became a tweener.
They've been teasing.
He wasn't a tweener. He turned into a heel.
He's pulled Samuel Shaw.
Yeah, Samuel Shaw.
He's gonna get booed at Mania. I'm gonna guarantee you that right now.
We'll see. You're doing some Men's Warehouse guys.
John Cena gets booed. Okay, if John Cena gets booed, Roman Reigns is gonna get booed.
John Cena usually doesn't get booed at Mania. Yeah, he gets a split crowd, but he usually gets fairly positive. The only time John Cena was outright booed at WrestleMania was when he faced The Rock in Florida. Duh.
I'm pretty sure he got booed against Triple H. He didn't get a good reaction against Shawn Michaels.
Yes, he did. That was when John Cena didn't even have hate, really.
No, that was in like
John
2000.
Cena hate didn't really come until like 2008.
The match with Triple H was fucking hated it.
Yeah, dude, don't even do late 2005 or late 2006. He was fucking hated.
No.
Yes,
Yeah, the hate was heavy in 06. That was the biggest John Cena hate yet.
This time!
The real monster fun begins.
Come on, know your stuff.
That's when the John Apocalypse started.
I forgot about that. Good point.
Regardless, WrestleMania is not a smart crowd. The night after WrestleMania in Raw, yeah, maybe that's a smarter crowd. But WrestleMania in general is not a smart crowd. That's all casuals.
So those casuals get pretty loud if you ask me.
They weren't at WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, they were pretty loud at the
Not as loud as the fucking truck outside my house. Jesus, dude. You hear that
I
shit?
didn't even hear that now. You know, we should have been loud about how terrible the service was at WrestleMania. Right there. Should have had lots of boos.
I'm pretty sure we were very loud about that.
Be like, these fries suck. But what can they do to make sure that this doesn't backfire? Wego, what do you think?
He brings out 2 naked chicks every time he comes to the ring.
Here's the most dangerous part about what's going on right now, and it's that Brock Lesnar is starting to go into a tweener role, and he's starting to get really over with the fans. And the thing is, if they want Roman Reigns to be cheered as a face, they need to put him against a really strong and really hated heel. And honestly, the only person they could put him against,
Seth
Rollins or Rusev. Those are the only 2 like real hated heels you have in the company right now. Rusev ain't ready yet. Rusev needs more time before you put him in the
Seth's the only one who's got a real shot at getting the title with the briefcase.
So I said this before, and I think what you have to do is you have to get Seth Rollins into this match. So at least then the smart fans will have a person to get behind, and there won't be as much focus going on Roman. Then Roman can sneak in and get that title win, and people aren't going to be as pissed off about it going up to it.
No, they'll be just like, why wasn't Dean Ambrose in the match? We wanted a Shield triple threat.
Yeah.
Oh, God, fuck Dean Ambrose.
Hey, don't fuck Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is awesome.
I love Dean Ambrose, but I don't think he's ready for the main event either.
Dean's getting a shit match at WrestleMania this year. I
I'd
gotta
be
say
shocked.
that.
I'd be shocked if he gets a match. I think
He'll get a match.
a giant battle royal if they do it.
He'll get a match. He'll get a match against either Kane or Sheamus or
Why
something
not
like
have
that.
him go up against Wade Barrett for the IC title? I think Dean Ambrose
could do
needs
that.
a mid-card title.
You
That'd be
know, I wish
it's
was
just
still.
on him.
You know who I wish was still old and could still wrestle? Fit Finlay. I bet he and fucking Ambrose could have a fun match.
I had enough of Fit Finley. I thought that he was a bore.
I don't know. Unfit Finley was better if you ask me.
Unfit Finley. It's like fucking Bull Dempsey.
That's pretty accurate.
You know what I'm a little bit nervous that they might do? They might include both Seth Rollins and Randy Orton and make this a fatal 4-way. I'm nervous that they might do that. Kind of like, well, you know what? We'll throw Rollins in there because he can say that he's cashing in the Money in the Bank, but then we can have some kind of a match with Randy Orton where he's entitled to have a match with Seth Rollins, so he gets in there, and then, you know, well, maybe the fans will be cheering for multiple people, and it won't matter if,
Shit, if you're gonna do that, let's just fucking throw in Daniel Bryan because he never officially lost his title, and then, I don't know, put in Fandango. Let's make it a 6-pack challenge.
I hope they don't do this, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they did. Because I think there's no way they're just adding Daniel Bryan to it.
Let me ask you, Tony, if they did do that, most likely they would make it an elimination scenario. So who do you make the final 2?
Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. You eliminate, what's his name? Orton first.
Yeah.
You eliminate Orton, and then you eliminate Seth Rollins. And, you know, everybody gets all pissed off about that, and then you do the Roman Reigns win. And you kind of do that.
Do a cash in?
Yeah, well, he'd be cashing in to get the title shot, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, do that ahead of time.
Why would they do it that way?
I don't think that they'll necessarily go this way, because we really haven't quite figured out what they're going to do for Fastlane yet, and the Money in the Bank could come into the factor there, but I could see something weird happening with the 4-way thing. At the very least, I don't think we're getting what some people are throwing out there. We're not getting Rusev and John Cena added. They're not going to throw those two in there.
To the title match?
Yeah, I've heard that, and that's not going to fucking happen. No way.
I'm not gonna lie, I would like seeing Brock and Rusev battle a little bit.
That'd be kind of cool.
Just for a little bit, not for like a whole match, but if you put them in a multi-man match where they could just scuffle for a little bit, I think that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah. But that'll be interesting to see what happens. WWE's got, you know, a little bit less than a month really to figure out what's happening.
Oh, they gotta figure out soon what they want to do with that card, because there's so many people that need to be on that card, and they better figure their shit out soon, because there's a chance that they might screw up entirely if they don't make the right choices now.
You know who really needs to be put into that main event?
Don't say damn, Ryan.
CM Punk. I mean, come on, the
Oh,
guy's never had a main event at WrestleMania. The guy just wants to main event at WrestleMania. Can't you give him what he wants? My God, that's all he wants. Just give him a main
You
event.
know what? I bet after the fucking whole incident with the UFC and stuff, he'd be more popular if he came back.
Incident?
Yeah, like the whole fucking. Well, I just mean the whole incident of him leaving WWE and going UFC.
Oh,
I guess
the way you said that, I thought like he had like something in the UFC where like he went to like get a weigh-in and someone knocked him out or something like that.
As you know, it's funny though. Like there's a forum called Sherdog where all the MMA people go. And they're discussing. Is it okay to put CM Punk in there? He might be the first legal death in the octagon.
You know what? Never mind. That's not the right time to bring it up.
Alright, well,
Your sister.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this idea of the whole Roman Reigns thing going, I'm sure, on future episodes, because it's gonna be a topic that's gonna stick around for a while.
Wait. There's one very big thing that we did not discuss about this Royal Rumble match.
What's that?
The Rock.
Yes.
Oh shit, I forgot about The Rock.
Alright, so let's just put this in this perspective here, okay? Daniel Bryan, of course, is the big person that everyone wants to win. He gets eliminated early. So at this point, people already are starting to get this realization, this is going to be Roman Reigns, isn't it? And when that happened, the whole crowd just died. And they didn't come back up a little bit until Damian Sandow came out. And for some reason, they just wanted to believe that Damian Sandow had a shot at winning this thing. That's how desperate they were. But when he got eliminated, okay, they're pissed off. Number 30, Dolph Ziggler comes out, and everyone's like, holy crap, surely Dolph Ziggler can do this. Pretty quickly, he was eliminated. Then Dean Ambrose was eliminated. Then Bray Wyatt was eliminated. And it seemed like we were all out of hope. But who should come out? What's this? We have one last action hero. It's The Rock.
You just specifically threw that in there, didn't you? That was good though.
But we did talk about that, and well, you brought that up. Before we got into the actual arena and everything, a lot of people were just completely focused on this idea that The Rock was going to show up. I didn't think that he would. I thought it was just going to be, this ruse. But I think that actually hurt this, because people were pissed off that he wasn't the number 30 entrant. So that was another thing that they were going to boo for. And it kind of felt like this forced, well, The Rock's given Roman Reigns a rub, and you guys, if he likes him, then you guys should too. And that kind of mentality just doesn't seem to fly anymore. So, whoever the person was, I'm assuming Vince, that was responsible for thinking that could work, and thinking this obviously is not the same magnitude, but thinking that you can book the way that Zack Ryder was booked with John Cena, where Zack Ryder is really popular right now, so let's make John Cena take away that popularity kind of thing and see if people can start cheering for John Cena now. This kind of stuff doesn't really work, and they should stop going to that well. But, hey, I guess it was worth a shot to try. I think that's going to be just an extra blunder, and if anything, I think that hurt the situation more. If Roman Reigns would have just celebrated, and they would have had that finish go down differently, because it was awkward. They rang the bell before Rusev got eliminated, and it didn't come out in that kind of a way like they did with Santino, where it was like, they rang the bell, but we forgot, and oh my god, this guy might win. It was like, there were people in the crowd chanting, Rusev is still there though, and that was a disappointment. But
almost ready to show who's the cheesiest. I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Okay, Sharks, we're live. In 3, 2, 1. I don't think we've ever had that in 14 seasons.
The Shark Tank Live season.
Let's go around one little time here. Did you enjoy it, whether or not you enjoyed the idea that Roman Reigns won? You know, in general, was this an entertaining Royal Rumble? I liked it. I liked the idea that Roman Reigns won. It could have been better, but I still liked it. Drew?
I personally am just kind of below meh on the Rumble match. I expected it to be good because every Rumble I've seen has been good, and then this one kind of was below my expectations. It wasn't that good if you ask me. Even with the Daniel Bryan thing, that didn't really bother me. And even with Roman Reigns winning, I actually didn't mind him winning. I thought it made the most sense if he won. Even though I think I picked Daniel Bryan to win the predictions contest because that's just personally who I wanted to win. So yeah, it was just below average to me. I know you liked it. I know other people liked it, but I'm not a big fan of. I don't know. I'm not big. When they do this year they did it with Bray Wyatt. That Bray Wyatt eliminated one person and he's the only one in the ring, and he waits for the next person to come out. I'm not a big fan of when they do that for the most part, and I especially didn't like it this year because I'm not a big fan of Bray Wyatt. So overall, the beginning of the match I didn't like it, and after Bryan got eliminated, I was just kind of like, eh. And then fuck Kane and Big Show. Who thought in 2015 they'd be the one of the last ones in a Rumble? That was like one of the few things that pissed me off about this match. The Daniel Bryan thing was stupid, but that just pissed me off. I swear to God, if they have like big matches at Mania, I might lose it because I just can't stand those two anymore. But yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of the match.
In 2 miles, take exit 109A for US 158 East, US 421 South toward Kernersville.
Yeah, I couldn't see it happening.
Wait, what's the date? May 26th?
May 19th.
May 19th, okay.
Yeah, they're the same.
Okay, they're close enough. 1 week off.
As far as the whole match goes, I loved half of it, and I couldn't stand the second half because the fans were booing all the way through it.
Yeah, see, fans ended up making it worse.
Definitely.
Yeah, I didn't mention that because I know who Wago was, but yeah, the fans booing, it made me more interested in the match to see what they would do, but it didn't really do much for me. I still just thought the match sucked. But when at least the crowd was giving a reaction, if there was like no reaction at all to anything that happened, then I really wouldn't care about this match. It would have sucked. So at least they gave a reaction and they voiced their opinion of some sort.
The whole match was just fucking weird. It wasn't even so much, hey, this is our opposite opinion of what's normally acceptable and it's funny because we're doing it. It was just, fuck this event. So it was unenjoyable. I had no issue with Roman Reigns winning. I think Daniel Bryan's the guy to go with, but Roman Reigns makes sense. That's their guy they want to push. And honestly, he's not a bad hand. People want to say he's a shit promo and he's shitty in ring, but when he has his good days, he has really good days.
In half a mile, take exit 109A for US 158 East, US 421 South toward Kernersville.
It was a very unique match. It's going to be one that people are talking about for a long time, and I'm actually really happy to have been a part of it because that the 2 Royal Rumbles I've been to, 2008 and this one, had some of the most.
Take exit 109A.
And how the crowd reacted and just how it all went down. I'm never going to forget it, and I think it's going to be something that's talked about for a long time. I liked it.
Continue for 13 miles.
I didn't like about it. I don't get why people are being so butthurt about it. I like Roman Reigns. I don't really have any problem with him. I don't see what's wrong with him winning it. I understand some of the other problems people have with it. The number 1 and number 2 were very odd choices. Some of the other pacing parts of it were kind of lame, but there were some other really cool parts too. Like I think the returns were really fun. The Bubba Ray especially was fun. Bray Wyatt looking like an absolute beast was fantastic. But in the end, the best part of it, just like in the triple threat match, was how the crowd acted. And it was just amazing to see Roman Reigns get such red heat from the crowd.
Alrighty, guys, that is it for the Royal Rumble review. Tell us what you thought about all these matches in the comments below, and express your opinions about Roman Reigns, pro or con. Doesn't matter. Still want to see what you guys say about it. We have one last thing to do for this episode of Smack Talk, and that is the Fantasy League. So stay tuned. Click on the next video, everybody. Part 10 coming your way.